We're at Creature Comforts in Burlington. We're doing winter maintenance to get your house ready, even in the outside a little later, but we're talking inside right now. Beautiful living room you guys have set up here. Perfect temperature in here that you have the thermostat set to. Can you take us through that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So we've got a few thermostats on display here. Everybody's got a little something different in their house. Smart homes have become really popular, so some people may notice things like the Nest or the Ecobee. We are a Lennox dealer, so we are proud to carry the Lennox Smart Stats. The nice thing about them is they don't have any batteries in them, and they'll sort of show you what's going on outside. So right now we've got some snowstorms and blizzards happening, which is pretty correct with what's going on out there. But more traditionally, you may have something like a standard thermostat like this on your wall. Really important tip for homeowners is that it's important to remove it and replace the batteries every year or two. This falls into maintenance. Regular maintenance with a licensed contractor would take care of this and check this for you. But that's a very common call, and it could save you some money.
So when you're setting the thermostat, you're obviously doing it for your furnace. Now, that's one thing that maybe a lot of people don't think about is just normal maintenance can actually save you some money in the long run. So what can people do to get ahead?
Maintenance is really important. We always like to tell customers that you wouldn't drive your car without getting an oil change. So it's important to get your furnace tuned up and have a licensed mechanic take care of it and check it out. Make sure the gas pressures are right, make sure the wiring is okay, the motors are safe. Filters are a huge part. Most homeowners will have a system that looks similar to this, where you would remove the cover for the filter and then you would actually pull your filter out, and you can check it, and you want to make sure and have a look in between the pleats to make sure there's nothing stuck in there. Anybody that has any sort of pets or animals in the house may get a lot of fur, and whereas a filter like this should last about a year, they may be replacing it every 2 months or so, or if you've had construction or renovations, there's lots of different things that can affect it.
It's fairly easy to do for the homeowner.
Really easy, and it could save you a service call as well. These are a couple examples of some filters that we've pulled out of houses over the holidays.
Some dirty ones there, goodness.
Yeah, so this was a client that called that had no heat, wasn't sure how to check their filter, and really just wanted us to come out and have a look at everything, so we were able to remove it. This is obviously the dirty filter, and we were able to put in a new one.
And you put the new one in, and the heat came back right away,
Heat comes back on, the furnace is happy, it can breathe again, life is good.
And then what about some of the pipes that might be sticking out on the exterior?
So that's a good question. We get this a lot. This is probably our most common call during the winter time, especially days like today where we're going to get a lot of snow. It's really, really important. Anybody that has a high efficiency furnace, which is the standard for Canada now, will have these pipes coming out the end of their house. What we're kind of looking at here was, imagine that this is the wall on the side of your house, this is the ground. You want to make sure that these are always free of snow, because this is drawing air into the furnace, and then this is exhausting the air out of the furnace. So if these get choked up and can't breathe, your furnace is going to stop working. So it may save you a service call by just shoveling some snow and checking that and making sure that that's okay.
So that's how you can make sure everything's good inside your house. And in the upcoming segments, we'll go outside and get you ready for everything you need to know for winter. We're at the Lakeshore Clinic in Burlington, learning how to shovel properly, because you don't want to get hurt and sent to the chiropractor. Dr. Gibbs, as nice as you look, I don't want to be coming to you to get my back fixed. So before you even go out to shovel, it's not the snowiest day today, but that's all right. What do you need to wear outside?
Yeah, so the first thing you want to think about before you even go out to shovel is what you're going to wear. We always tell people it's nice to dress in layers, because you can kind of peel yourself off like a layer of an onion as you warm up. And speaking of warm-ups, you want to warm up first too.
Some jumping jacks?
You can do jumping jacks if you want to. Even just a short walk around the house. You can get out, walk around the block.
Should we do some? No, jump.
You
gotta get warm to get ready to go.
We don't have much snow here, but anyway, yeah. So do yourself a nice little warm up. It prevents injuries kind of down the road, and kind of coming from there.
All right, so then when we get outside and we're actually shoveling, now just picture that there's a bunch of white stuff on the ground right now. I think I would shovel kind of something like this and then just, toss it over.
So the first thing I'm going to say to you is you should probably have some proper footwear on too. Those running shoes you're going to slip and slide.
These are stylish, though, aren't they?
They are, but
not ideal for the snow.
No, for today they're okay. So you show me your shovel again.
This is what I would kind of do.
Yeah.
Maybe
so you really don't want to do that. And really when you're thinking about shoveling, you want to pick the proper shovel for the job. So ideally we want to push the snow as much as we can. If you use a metal or aluminum shovel, you can actually even spray these with a Teflon or silicone spray that you can get at your local hardware store. That will keep some of the sticky snow off of it and keep it from getting too weighted down while you're actually shoveling. This kind of shovel is going to be good at the end of the driveway when the snowplows come by and it's real heavy and the snow's collected some more moisture and it comes really heavy. Just to kind of think in terms of it being a workout again, is that you're lifting a lot of weight. By the time you shovel the end of your driveway, you're lifting a couple hundred pounds easily. So it is a workout. So when we talk about warming up, really take the time to kind of make sure that you're in the mood to do it. Another good tip is it doesn't all have to be done at once. So it's kind of snowing a little bit today. We don't have to get out there. But on a day where you're getting a big storm, think about getting out every couple hours to make the lighter job for you down the road. So
that makes sense. And I know the one thing that you want to stress too is make sure you're hydrated. We think of that a lot in the summer, but in the winter that maybe gets thrown by the wayside a bit.
For sure. As you get in shoveling, I don't know, you probably feel it too, shoveling your own driveway, is when you kind of take those layers off, you can break out into a good sweat. So that moisture is going somewhere. You want to make sure you're hydrated before and hydrated after.
So let's see the proper way to shovel.
All right, so you want to push as much as you can. If you can get an ergonomic shovel that has a bit of a bend in it, that's great. Again, a pusher type shovel is going to be a wider type of a blade compared to that. That's a bit narrower. So basically what you want to do is you want to push. We don't really have snow to push, but you would push the snow and then you're going to kind of go across to the end, let's say your driveway, and here you're going to do the width so you can push. When you do actually have to lift, you want to bend with your knees, protect the back, so your back is going to stay pretty neutral. You're going to actually lift with your arms and then throw the snow that way if you have to throw the snow. What we really want to avoid is that lifting and twisting, because that's really, really hard on the back.
All right, that's the way to shovel. Don't do it how I did. Do it how Dr. Gibbs did it so you don't have to come see her. Stay tuned on Morning Live. We're at Gelderlands Landscape and Design with Brendan, who's got a couple different ways to melt that ice.
So this is ice melter. This is pet friendly stuff. There's many different kinds of ice melter. So you apply this by just sprinkling it lightly. And it is pet friendly, so that's good for your pets. For the ice melter you buy, it doesn't really matter as long as you use it properly. This is rock salt, so there's actually rocks in it. And when you spread it, I recommend spreading it like you're bowling, because then it covers a large area.
You must be a good bowler.
I try.
You got the trucks ready to go just in case some snowfall comes. And what are we going to do now?
So we're going to do some winter pruning and a little bit of leaf raking after the snow is melted a little bit.
And apparently it's the best time to prune in the winter?
So January, June and July are the best times of year to prune. So
Why is that?
just because the plant goes dormant. So what you want to do here is just kind of take off some extra leaders. See how that's growing out. Just kind of tidy up the plant.
Bit of a haircut.
A bit of a trim. And this is actually Salon 612. This is a haircutting place too. So here, just tidying this up a little bit. And what we're going to do now, I'm just going to pick up this debris. Just put it in the bucket here. And see these leaves here? They're just axis leaves. So you can actually rake these leaves underneath the plant to give the roots some moisture for the winter time, especially with no snow, because they're going to dry out. So
A little bit of cover.
a little bit of coverage, and it's perfect for the plant. So
That's a good way to get rid of the leaves instead of having to take them to the dump because you got to pay to do that. Now you can just help out your own plants.
exactly. And it's always good to have a compost pile on your property too, because then you can reuse that soil instead of buying new soil in the spring.
Well, you got all the rake skills we could ask for, man. Thanks for showing us.
Oh, you're welcome.
The Grooming Pearl in downtown Burlington. In last segment, we were looking at how dangerous it can be if you don't salt. But one issue, and Stephanie's with me here from the Grooming Pearl, that comes up with pets is that you got to be careful around that salt, don't you?
Yep, salt can give chemical burns to their pads. It can get stuck in between their pads if you don't cut the hair out and have it shaved by your groomer. So it can do quite a bit of damage. There is pet safe salt that you can buy that helps with that, or just cleaning the pads off when you get in. Just look.
Who do we have here?
This is Jasmine. She's a Bernese Mountain Dog, 4 years old.
She's pretty nice and calm.
Yeah, she's a calm girl.
So should we go check out her pads and see how they're doing?
Sure. Come on, Jazz.
A little grooming time for Jazz.
Up, up. Good girl. That's it.
So what all do you have in here?
All of my tools, and then back there is the bathing area. Good girl.
We'll give the pads a look and see how
Yeah,
they
so I
are.
can show you how we do it here. Good girl. So all the hair in here should be shaved out so that nothing can get stuck in there. In the summertime too, rocks, things like that. Just keep it very clean. Good girl. Good girl, Jazz.
She's staying really steady.
She's a good girl. She's done this before.
She knows the drill.
Good girl.
So what are some of the maybe more extreme cases you've seen if dogs are out and about on the salt or sand in the winter? How can it affect the pads?
So the pads can get matted inside. I've seen some where it gets so matted with moisture, things like that in the summertime. And then when they're not shaved out, it can become one huge mat, which can be very uncomfortable for them. Yeah.
So ideally you get them shaved out and then maybe get them some little booties to wear around.
Yeah, so here are one of the boots that you would want to wear. This protects them in the summer and the winter.
Be good on a human big toe, but would fit over a dog's foot.
There's bigger ones. These are smaller ones. Yeah. So they just undo like this. It takes a while for the dogs to get used to them, but it is good protection. And then
And that way
so
you make
just
sure
slip
the
it on their
dog's
paw.
foot is safe too, right?
Yeah.
Jasmine being a good dog. All ready to go. Well, she's ready to hit the road, so we might as well boogie too. Stay tuned on Morning Live.